Hey guys, so I am now doing my 2023 vacation recap. We went on vacation back in, I want to say, March and April, and I think we were gone for about 3 weeks. We traveled a lot of distance. We had a friend come down from the UK, a couple of them, and it was a blast. It took a lot of energy, but it was amazing. And I had this PowerPoint that I created on Canva. They had a really gorgeous set of pictures, so I wanted to like put my pictures across it and share a little bit of everything that we did and saw and stuff. And some of the pictures in here turned out to be kind of like a magazine. I love it. So I had a hard time even during our vacation because I had a bit of a mental health break from some health news I'd received, and then just the intensity at work and the overworked hours and everything. And it was all too much to handle at the same time. But ended up leaving work, was bedridden for about 3 months. Finally had started moving around and doing a bunch of other stuff, and it got to a point where it was just a little bit better, a little bit better. But when we went on vacation, there were a few days that were a little bit too much for me. But overall, like, it was a really great experience. Expensive vacation, but that was mostly the fact that we were on vacation for 3 weeks. So, um, anyway, I'm just kind of gonna do a little bit of a recap here and talk about the places that we went and saw, and that way if you guys ever want to go on vacation or something, or if you're ever able to, you can do that, or you can kind of live vicariously and experience a little bit of what we did through some of the photos. So um, instead of trying to remember the things that I stressed out about, or that I'm still recovering my mental health and stuff, I decided to put this little banner on here that says what I loved about March and April, and basically wanted to tell myself, hey, remember the good stuff and the best stuff. What do you want to remember about the actual vacation? So anyway, so I most of these will be a little bit of a collage kind of effect, and with the channel I love the blues and stuff. But anyway, so I've got a whole bunch of bridge pictures here on the first one, which was I was taking, like, I was collecting photos by, I'd use my camera for them, so I was taking the picture, but I was collecting like as many different types of bridges that we saw or passed under. I wanted to get pictures of all of them. I wanted to do like a really big, like little, I guess slide or whatever, but a big collection of them. But I didn't drive for most of the trip, or I wasn't passenger for most of the trip. There were parts of the drive where I was either in the back seat or in the driver's seat. So it just depended. Like, my husband's afraid of heights, so some of those I had to drive for him. But yeah, so right here I've got the mouse kind of over it. I've got our luggage. We had one of those open, and my cat Biddy, the gray and white one, and then Tommy's cat Tyeri, big old fat striped striped one. They were crawling in. They're like, "Take us with you, or you can't have your luggage. We're gonna keep you here." And I had to take a photo because it was cute, and I figured it'd be good for memories and stuff. But then he had his goofy smile, and then yeah, me in the driver's seat for starting off. But yeah, no, there were so many different types of bridges. It was crazy once I started paying attention to the actual designs of them. Some were really gorgeous. But the next picture was our first destination was in Austin, Texas. That was where we went to pick up our friends at the airport, and that was our first few days for the vacation we would stay there. And Tommy, of course, I was like, hey, let me get a photo of you. And he made a goofy face. So that was wonderful. But we went to a place that serves like boba tea and several other things. And I liked the one that I had. It was like some sort of a peach mango something or other. But I shouldn't have had the little boba ball things in it because the chocolatey texture and flavor of those did not go with the drink that I had. So, but it was really good. It had real fruit in it, like a big old like pie shaped slice of watermelon, and I think there were a couple of grapes in there, and then I don't remember. I think I might have had a little sliver of pineapple in there too, but it was very very tasty, and I wanted to get a photo in front of that. It was very photographic. And I took a lot of photos, y'all. I think I took like 10,000 photos altogether on the trip. But they're not all in here. I tried to pare down and only pick the best ones. So, yeah. This was in the Soko district in Austin. And I think that particular building was the restaurant I think there's a restaurant inside it. And we went in there. Pretty sure that that's where we ate. When we were going down the road there. But oh my goodness, there was a store that had hats, there was a store that had soaps, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff I don't remember. But we were going to get the little scooters. They had scooters all over the city, and like we don't have that in our state or in our hometown. Just little scooters everywhere that you can rent or whatever. So that was a little insane. I was like, dude, what the? I wanted to rent one, but we ended up not. But yeah, we all got photos. And I tried to make sure that I didn't have pictures of my friends in these. So, like, it mostly looks like just me and Tommy. Because I don't want to, like, invade their privacy or have the whole world seeing, like, them on vacation or whatever. That's, if they want to share that, that's their option or whatever. So I tried to keep this focused around me and Tommy. But anyway, the restaurant that we went in, there was a lady that was wearing like this hippie looking dress. It was white and it was so adorable. I think she was wearing pigtails that day. She had both sides braided. And she was a really, really sweet waitress. And something that was funny was the water that they served us was in a wine bottle, like a refrigerated chilled wine bottle. So like you didn't get a whole lot of water for it, but it was still good. I was like, it's a silly little cute way to serve water. But I took pictures of the food that me and Tommy ordered because I want to remember, because that lamb skewer, and I forgot the name of the dish. I know it had tzatziki with it, and I think it's tabbouleh is the name of it. The rice looking stuff under it. That's actually one of the best. I'd say a grain meal. I hadn't eaten a really good tabbouleh before anyway. I've only had it a few times, and it was very vinegary. We've got a store at home called Pruitt's, and they have like a vinegary version of it. It's okay, but this meal here was incredible. So it was one of the best dishes I had ever tasted. The lamb I didn't expect the lamb to be spicy. When I ordered it, I figured it'd be like a little rack of lamb, especially for the prices. But everything in Austin was more expensive than at home, especially because it's a tourist district. But no, I was surprised to find that they came on the skewer instead, like a little sausage, and it was spicy. I didn't expect it to be that spicy, but they didn't just have onion in it; they had shallots, and it had a nicer flavor to it. And I don't remember what all they had in there, but it was so good, and I can still taste it. And then Tommy's fries were amazing. I loved his fries. I had to have a few. So. Next one, I said food and love on the image, but that was a little bit of what the inside of the restaurant looked like. And then Tommy's over there just grinning away. He does this little twirly thing with his beard. He's been doing that forever, and I love it. It's adorable. But you can see the little wine bottle that they had next there to him, and it's really cute. like, I took pictures of everything. This was one of the cowboy hat stores. Our friend, he wanted to get a cowboy hat, and he wore it everywhere, so it was great. I was like, you're gonna go home and have our accent when you go home, huh? He's like, yep. But I loved the vibe of Alan's, like the color, the soft warmth, and all the textures and stuff. That's something that I would look for in a dream home. Maybe not all those colors, but I love how muted and neutral that is. And then the whole all right, all right, all right sign just cracked me up. Like, that was the one thing that looked more like a bar. But the cash register was pretty cool. It was like it looked like a little old saloon bar and stuff, so that was nice. But then we went to Ladybird Lake, which was still in Austin, and that was a gorgeous lake. It was beautiful. I loved the skyline and the bridges and everything else. But when we got out of the car, Tommy saw the squirrel, and he's like, look. And I was like, I'm going to get a photo. I think he took the photo. But I included it because that squirrel, I mean, come on. He's adorable. So, the photo in the background, I did this several times where I wanted to still include the photo, but it not be way too busy. So some of the photos I just used as like a background, but I did include it elsewhere because I had several shots of it. So anyway, Tommy at the water's edge, and that was such a good picture of him. I loved it. And then me being goofy, and oh goodness, picture of the lake from the other side. Here is where we actually went kayaking, and that water was so pretty. Oh my gosh. It was very peaceful. Like, on the right hand side there was a swimming pool area, and all this, you had to go down like the stairs from the parking lot to get down there to the kayaking and stuff. But once you went under this bridge to the left, you would just keep going. I would say it was probably about 1,000 meters from where you get the kayaks to where it opens up into the actual lake. And then you have way off to the left where you had a lot of cypress trees along the side of the bank, and even more of the moss under the water, or the algae under the water. And on the right side, if you went to the right instead, you would actually have an amazing view of the city. Like, I am a small town girl, and I've never really found big cities to be all that beautiful. Like, they have kind of an awesome quality to them, but they were never beautiful to me until that. And I was like, oh my god, it's so amazing. Yeah, you get a water view and a city and pair those two, and it's amazing. But yeah, there was a little bit of a dark thing that happened to whenever we had come back to Austin, or like a few days after this. I can't remember which it was. We went to Austin twice. Once to pick them up and hang out, and then later to help them get back to the airport. But there was a body found in the river, so that was a little bit dark, and we had gone out there. We didn't know about it. We went out there to try to go kayaking again, and yeah, I don't know, it was shut down. I was like, what? Oh, ooh. Yeah, so that was dark. But the water, I want to say that was like 20 foot deep, or a little bit deeper, and it didn't look as deep, but there were fishes all throughout that, and they liked hiding in that seaweed. But some of them would come out, swim where you could see them, and there was one that was like, I want to say that little turd was about a foot long, and he was a big one. He was the biggest one I saw, but there were turtles everywhere. Most of them look like little snapping turtles, which are the regular ones. A little bit of yellow on their beak, and then down the side of their neck. So just regular old snapping turtles. Anyway, that was where once you turned out to the right, you would actually see the whole city. And Tommy took this photo here of the city. Me and my friend were way over there under the bridge at that point, or at least halfway. Yeah, we were either this little orange boat in the middle, not the middle of the photo, but on the right hand side. We were either the one way over by the bridge or the one that was next up, close to it. And then I took photos of myself, but I'm so conscious about my weight. I'm like, ugh, I'm ugly and fat. I mean, I'm cute, but I mean, yeah, how it goes. I'm trying not to be hateful to myself. But Tommy was terrified the first time, and he threw a royal fit. He was supposed to go out there on the kayaking with me, and his nerves and his fear, and he wasn't able to do it. So he stayed on the bank, and that's why we had photos from the bank, which turned out for the photos part. But I talked to him, I had to baby him and kind of kid gloves with him and helped him because he has, we're pretty sure it's autism, like an undiagnosed autism. And that actually would explain a lot of his idiosyncrasies and some of the things that he struggles with. I have like ADHD really, really bad, and from past trauma, I also have traits of autism, but I don't think I actually have it. I think I have symptoms of it, which, that often comes with severe trauma and PTSD and stuff. Just the way that you withdraw and then trauma responses and your coping mechanisms and stuff are really similar. But so I had to help him to calm down from his, and then once he was able to think straight again, he said, actually, after seeing you guys out there, I do want to try it. I'm like, okay, let's go do it then. It would be amazing. So I had him out there. I should have taken the back like I did the first time because it was a lot easier to paddle and stuff, but no, I ended up taking the front, and he's not very good at the coordination thing, so I would paddle, and then we would start veering. It's a lot easier for me to coordinate if the other person's in front, but oh my goodness, no, it was a blast. And he was afraid at first, and I told him, I was like, these boats, they are sturdy. Like, I'm 220. I'm not the only one that's overweight on the trip, and the boats were fine. I even rocked it to test it. And then whenever he was in it, I showed him. I was like, brace yourself. I'm going to do something scary, but it's going to be safe. And I rocked it just lightly. And he's like, oh, no. But no, it ended up being all right. And he didn't like the rocking, but he felt a lot safer because it was obviously not going to tip over. And he enjoyed it so much. It was amazing. Like, I loved how happy he was. We went about as far as we had the first time, but off to the left instead of to the right. And I think they were rented out for like $30 for each hour. So we spent like $60 between the two times that we went kayaking. It was amazing. I think this was when we were headed to San Antonio, maybe. But the pictures were really gorgeous, and I loved how it turned out on the side. I wanted to make sure that I had several pictures from the night photos that I had, so I've got a few of those several times. And then, yeah, this is San Antonio. The 901 building, we went to go see the Alamo, and that from where we parked, we got to see one of the churches, and then we crossed I guess it's a road to them, but it's like a multi-highway to us where we live. But the 901 building was really, really gorgeous. I loved the stonework that was all over it, and I had to get a picture of it. And then same with the San Antonio Express News. I love that kind of architecture, and as an artist, like, I want to be able to have reference photos and see all the details and stuff. So literally I slowed everybody down. Oh man, they kept looking back for me like, where are you, and I'm like, I'm taking photos, I'm trying. Everything's a rush for me, but they were like, oh. But yeah, that was a Presbyterian church. Like, I didn't care that it was a church, but I love the architecture and the stained glass windows and everything. And then like the horse-drawn carriage was cute. And I noticed that every single city that we went to, they all have a different vibe. Like, San Antonio was much more dusty and muted and looked like it came from an 80s magazine. And then Austin looked more like a 2000s city. And then, like, Galveston had its own, like, maybe 60s and 70s kind of beachfront vibe going. And then, like, every city we went to, even New Orleans was 1800s kind of, like, it was amazing. Anyway, so we went to the Natural Bridge Caverns. I didn't get a bunch of photos from in there. I think those are on my husband's phone because I believe I ran out of battery power at that point. Like, I managed to get a few of them, but I ended up using his because, it was memory. My memory was like, my phone memory was already full. So, I really like that photo. I mean, that's a good one. Like, I don't look as terrible. And the lighting on it is really interesting for the contrast in the dark and the light, and then how, all the flickering. But, yeah, we ended up getting a bunch of really cute stuff from there. I got a little bat pen and a backpack that ended up tearing because it was cheap quality. And then, I don't remember what else I got from the thing there. But, yeah, it was really cute. Oh, pardon. Oh, there we go. So, top left is the waiting area we were waiting for the guide, and then that in the middle is him. We're about to go back to the main building, and then I really thought the plant wagon was really cute. And then the pictures of all the different types of rocks and stones and cute stuff that they had was amazing. Oh, I did get these cute little, like, they're like my little crushed marble ball, but they're, or crushed quartz. They were like this, but I got 3 of them that are a lot smaller. They're not the size of a marble. It's almost halfway between the size of a marble and this. And, like, I love, rocks, apparently. But, it reminded me of the little, I don't know if they're Japanese or Chinese, little stress balls. You just play with those, and usually they come in a set of 3, and they've got like little dragon prints on them. They reminded me of those, so I got one in black, one in teal, and I don't remember what the other one was, but I got 3 of them, and those are absolutely cute. I've got those in my curio. This was the I don't know, River Walk, I think that's what it was called. The Alamo was not very far from here. This was the shopping center, and, like, I'm telling you, the amount of trees and water that was there was so pretty. And I love the stonework and stuff, of course. Anything that reminds me of a castle is amazing. We took the boat tour around. So, this was a screenshot from one of the videos that I had whenever I was recording from the boat tour. That tree was 350 years old. It's older than most or all of San Antonio, but yeah, it's insane. And then, yeah, River Center Mall. I loved that mall, and I don't remember if I've been to San Antonio, but I have been to a place before that had boats going under it and stuff, and I may have been there once with some of my foster parents years and years ago. But the arches underneath the walkways and then the glass and stuff, it's so familiar, like I've been there. And if I did, it's been about 30 years almost. Anyway, yeah, every photo on this entire slide except for like 5 of them, I took every photo except for 5, and I marked the 5 that I did not take so that I can make sure to credit where that came from. And that was only because I didn't have the photos. So, I really love that stonework. It's so pretty. And then there was our river guide. She was funny. She was nice. She was really good at her job. Very knowledgeable. I think the one on the right is where we had already left. And I loved all those little string lights that were in between the alleys and stuff. But we were on our way to the Alamo at that point. So, yep, there it is. It was not what I expected. Old pictures that I had seen, it was in like a dusty, dirty area, and now like you've got all these beautiful paved roads and stuff around it with all these gorgeous colors and textures and patterns and stuff. And then they had string lights in there. They had like a little music thing going. I guess somebody was either getting married or they were having some sort of a celebration or whatever. But all those trees around it, it's so gorgeous. And then like you can tell I love photos, and I've got an okay eye for photography. I know the thirds rule and the golden ratio and stuff like that. So I did take several good ones. I also understand the whole flow thing, and then a little bit about the lighting and coloring and contrast and stuff. So it's one of the reasons why it looks so good on the slide. It didn't take much work once you know what you're looking for. But a lot of these photos, they were already pretty on their own. It's just getting that perfect shot that was a bit. So, and I like that a lot of them I didn't have to worry about too many people being there, because I had get over there and move just slightly where they were out of view so that I could actually focus on the thing. So oh man, I freaking love that. It is just so gorgeous. Like all the texture and the age, it just tells its own story, you know. It's so pretty. And then me and Tommy in front of the Alamo. So I was like, yay, we got a picture of the Alamo. But yeah, there you can see the tree on that one on the left and the one on the right. You can see the tree in the middle. They did that a lot in Austin too, where they actually wrapped entire trees, and they had like these areas that just random courtyards in the middle of the city where people would get to sit out there and eat, and they're just trees wrapped in lights. And it's so pretty. I love it. But that architecture is so gorgeous. And then Tommy got to go to Katy, Texas, where he got to go to the Gundam store. He is a massive Gundam fan, like lifelong dedicated. He would buy every single one if he could. He wants to go to Japan someday and actually see the big one that they have that's not life size, but actually life size ratio. So huge. He wants to go there, even though he's afraid of heights. I think he'd be happy to disregard that and be like, oh my god. He'd be too excited. But yeah, Katy, Texas, they had all the models, and the dude was talking about, hey man, we should hire you. You know your stuff. But I got a picture of him. I wish I would have been in there sooner to get a picture whenever he was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But I went over to the bookstore with my friend, and we were in there looking around. I think, yeah, I bought one book, and then when we were reading that, when I was reading that in New Orleans, I got mad at the ending of that book, and I threw it down, and I was like, whoever comes here next can have that. I don't remember the name of it. It was a bad book. I mean, it was good, but I hated the ending. It was not a satisfying read. But yeah. I used some of the little tape from here in Canva and put that over the finger, so it's not 100% vulgar, but he was grinning, he was laughing, because I had been in the back seat almost the entire ride, and he needed a break because he wasn't feeling very well and his anxiety, and it was getting dark, and like all of that had been piled on me. Well, he ended up buying so many figures. He bought like 4, 5, 6 boxes of Gundams, and we were already that full, and I was like, I don't know where to put these, so I ended up having to pile everything on him so he could get in, and most of that was on his side, not the other, because we were trying to leave room for everybody else. And yeah, he started laughing and then flipped me off. It was hilarious. So we went to Galveston next, and there was a beautiful storm. That was the house we stayed in. It was the upstairs. I didn't get a picture of the inside. But the aquarium and the whole Moody Gardens area, that was massive and pretty awesome. And then we also went to the beach, and I tell you, that water was salty. And my friend was like, I have been to the ocean many times. We don't have lakes, we have the ocean. And she's like, I have never had seawater this freaking salty. I mean, like, it made her sick, and I almost drowned. It was salty. But it was a blast. That was the first time I've ever been in the ocean. So that was the first for me. I had been to the ocean one time before, but didn't even get to dip a toe in. So anyway, so I got several photos there. And the aquarium, they had one part of it was like a little dome. Of course, you get to walk under and see all the sharks. And they had a little shipwreck scene in there. It was really cute. But they had a museum with all the bees and insects and stuff. And then all the birds, the bats, little Aztec looking area for some of the tropical stuff. And Tommy was wearing my bag. I love that bag. It's very colorful. He looks so cute wearing it too. But, yeah, I didn't show all the wildlife that we saw. I just tried to pick out some good ones. And then I love the little architecture that they did for their habitat for all the things that they had. And then the one where we're darker than the background, that was because I pointed it up, and that was the light. They had a hole inside of that structure where you got to look up and see the plants and stuff. So then there was the dolphin tour, and this looks straight out of a magazine. Like, I wanted to get a picture of the screen, and that looked like it came out of a magazine. I am so glad that I took that photo, because whenever I cropped it, it fit with this whole, like, scene and vibe so amazing. Like, it was a really good photo. But we saw dolphins, and they were adorable. And they had a mating frenzy, and I was like, oh, they're playing, because we had kids on board. I was like, guys, they're playing. They're having fun. But anyway, yeah, we saw a whole bunch of ships, and they were gigantic. Jesus, I've never realized they were that big. But we saw the pirate boats, and this was actually close to the restaurant. What was it called? Was the restaurant called Katie's? We went to Katy, Texas, but then the restaurant called Katie within Galveston. Oh, that's confusing. I have to keep that clear. But, yeah, so we went to the docks, and, like, there was the warehouse on the one side, and then the other side had some restaurants and stuff, and then the pirate ships, so. Oh, man, that was awesome. And then when we were at the beach, I made a little sand lizard, and I had a lot of sand all over me, and there we go. Yeah, a picture of me. Tommy took a picture of me doing that, and then, like, I had him bring me a bunch of, like, random dark shells so that I could pile it around the little lizard. I was just playing. Everybody else wanted to sunbathe or go swimming or whatever. Well, no, we were done with the swimming. It was just trying to relax. I had to eat an orange to get my blood sugar back up, and I was the one who always packed for everything, prepared for everything, and that orange saved us a couple of times, the oranges. So, like, my blood sugar dropped, and I was like, well, I almost got sick, but it helped a lot. There was one where I actually had to go in and sit down at a restaurant. I had to request, hey, can you bring me something so I don't pass out? So, yeah, Katie's Seafood House. Now, this is the one where I didn't have photos of the food, but I wanted to have the pictures of what we ate. So, there are 5 photos on here that have, like, a little, like, brown piece of tape. Those are the ones. I went ahead and went to the Katie's Seafood House restaurant website, and I screenshotted those. Those are their photos. Those, I didn't take those, but I wanted to put it on the slide because that way I'd have a memory of, hey, I remember eating this, and Tommy had that, and the mango salad was my friend's, and then I had the meal that was way over on the right side on the bottom. It was a crab stuffed pork chop, and it was amazing. The gravy on it was like kind of like a mango-ish flavored, and it was really good. That was incredible pork chop. Their pork chop was this thick. It was like a 2-inch pork chop, and also stuffed with crab and had a little bit on top. And the mashed potatoes, regular mashed potatoes, really good. The red snapper, which is the one on the far left, really good. I didn't know that was a bony fish. I'd never had that before, and I've never been a really heavy, like, seafood person, but oh my god, I love seafood now. As long as it's fresh and I'm at the ocean side, getting like, if I'm eating at Katie's, I'm like, hell yeah. But see, what was my main, like, there was Yeah, I can't remember what our other friend had. It was some sort of a pizza looking thing. I couldn't find a picture of it, so it's not on here. But his was like some sort of a, I think it was like chips or a bread of some kind that had jalapenos and cheese and all that. It was kind of pizza like or uh, salsa stuff. I don't remember what it was, but it was good too. And so I had a picture of the ocean and the houses that were really close. That was like literally there's a road, there's ocean, road, and then those little apartment complexes. And those were so cute. Like just the fact that they're all different colors, but it's like, you know, it almost looks like a pattern. It was so freaking cute. The whole town, like all the regular houses were kind of like that. They were just colorful. And then we went to Lafayette in Louisiana on the way to New Orleans. New Orleans. And this was downtown. And the photo, which is much more light colored so that it went with the slide, really, really gorgeous area. And then that was one of the little places we stopped off at. And they had a cute little picnic table. I loved what they did with it. But their little courtyard that they had, their bathroom was disgusting. Like, ew. But the courtyard was really cute. And then we stopped for ice cream, but these buildings were on the side where we were at. And I had to take pictures, of course. So on the way there, very photographic, took several photos. And then, whoops. And then the inside of the place where we ate. And let's see, I loved the vibe in there. They had a beautiful chandeliers, and then they had like this old coffee house bar kind of vibe on the inside. So I had lots of good photos. So the background on this one is actually the board where you get to look at the chalkboard where you have all the stuff you can order. They had several different ice creams that were unique. There was what was it? No, they weren't the one with the unique one, but I did like their ice cream. But yeah, no, it looked really cute in there. Like the case and everything. I forgot I had an empty slide there. I was going to fix that and forgot it. Anyway, this is the one that looks like a straight out of a magazine. I loved how I designed this slide, and I'm so freaking proud of it. It's so gorgeous. The only thing that would have made it better is if we'd had a clean cup there instead of one that had like donut stuff all over the outside of it. I think it was ice cream or something. I don't remember what got on it, but it wasn't my glass. It was there. It's a gorgeous photo. All those chocolate colors, and then like the deep greens that go with it, and then those bright little yellowy lights and stuff. And then Tommy just was like, "Ah, oh, it's so cool in here. It's nice and cool." But it was adorable in there. And on our way, oh yeah, that was inside the same building. But on our way back, on the other side of the street, this little courtyard for this building, I think it was a bank or something. It was so cute, I had to get a photo. And I may use that for art references later and stuff. But then we got to New Orleans, and I had to take a picture of the giant Tabasco sign that was sitting outside one of the stores. I was like, oh my god, yes! Louisiana hot sauce! It's like I had to get a photo of this. I think it was almost as tall as we were. But, so I got a photo of that. And then the streets you could drive down or whatever, but there were people everywhere, all kinds of art being sold just right there, and then all the shops, and it was crazy. And that architecture, oh my god, that architecture. Like, I love the wrought iron and the posts, and like people would just put their artwork along the thing and sell it, and I was like, wow. So yeah, I think I stayed behind that day until halfway through because I hadn't been feeling well. But our apartment was gorgeous. First one we stayed at, or that we had paid for, was not okay. Like, there were lots of issues, including a broken bed. And so we ended up getting a refund and stayed at a different place, and it was way prettier. I have a few photos of it, but I think those are on Tommy's phone, so I didn't get them. But anyway, we ate inside of a restaurant. I loved the texture on the ceilings, the colors. The entire inside of that building was amazing, from the floors to the ceiling to the chosen light fixtures. It was gorgeous. And that was like right across the street from the famous restaurant Café du Monde. I don't think I pronounced that right, but yeah, that's the one where you get all the little beignet donuts and coffee and stuff. So we were like literally next door first, and the little bowl there is etouffee. It's kind of like a gravy, but like has crawdads, crayfish, whatever in it, and I don't know what else other than it's like a gumbo, but like a little bit fishy, and it's almost like a gravy, and it's really good. It usually comes with rice. We have Captain John's restaurant here in our town, and they have a way better version of that. That one was fishy. Like I tried a little bit of it, and it was very fishy, which is surprising, being where we were to get that and other meals and stuff. But the one that we get from the restaurant here, oh my god! Not only do you get a lot more rice, and it's spicy, so it helps with the level of spice, but not only do you get that, you also get a big old thing of cornbread, like a jalapeno cornbread that's amazing, and you get a big plate of it. There, that's all you got, and it was roughly the same price. And I was like, what the? Trying to rip us off? What the heck? But the other stuff they had was really good. I think I had a burger that day. I don't remember. But the beignets were amazing, and the little coffee, really good. Sugar overload. And I had a picture behind the one of me and Tommy where he's sticking out his tongue. I had a picture where I was playing with the powdered sugar and I drew a heart in it, but putting that over it, it ended up just being the powdered sugar on the coffee cup. But it was still cool. Oh, that bird on the previous slide, the little pigeon, he was just walking around all chill, just in and out between the chairs and stuff. People were ignoring him. I thought, I was like, oh, this is so cute. I had to get the photo of him. And then photos on, I think, our way back to the apartment before we did our next thing. So we got to ride the tram. That was the first time I ever rode a tram, and it was so adorable. I love it. So I took photos, of course. Oh man, a little bit on the background on the one side, and then a little bit on the other side where it was the ground from after we got off. Took some pictures on the way back to the apartment, or the place we were staying, the Airbnb. And the one where that Airbnb, this is the photo of once you get up the hall and turn, and then like those ceilings are massive. They're like 20-foot ceilings. And then they had a little balcony in the back, and then on the right hand side over here on the big picture, that was the balcony that opened up on the front part of the apartment. So we went to that door in the middle. The door in the bars there is purple, but the rest of it was that pale cream color. And then the hallway, and then you get up, and then like that upper portion on the right hand side, that was our place where we stayed, and the owners were below us. But it was really cool. I loved it. And then the alligator tour. I bought this goofy hat. I freaking loved it. Oh, and I was like, yes, a silly hat for a gator tour. Call me Ishmael. Anyway, that boat there, they said that one's been in several movies, and I think they said something about Forrest Gump. I don't remember, but apparently that was a historical one. It's not in use anymore from what they were saying, but it was still floating there, next to the barge or whatever it was that we were on. The little, that thing, the pontoon boat with a motor. But yeah, we saw a little baby alligator and several like juvenile alligators. They weren't big ones. They were all small. I don't think we saw any big ones out there. But they were everywhere. And then the boat driver almost wrecked the boat. Oh man, he said I think it was Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, Hurricane Katrina ripped up most of the floating land because there's a like big old like I don't know what they're called, but the actual swamp, the water is underneath, and then there's like debris and stuff that is just built up over a few thousand years probably, and it just keeps over time more detritus, and it basically is floating on the water. And Hurricane Katrina ended up ripping up most of that, so it actually looks more like a lake now. He took us off into a few areas where it was more like you had to weave through stuff. He said that's the way it used to be all over, but after Hurricane Katrina, like what 10 years ago or so, it looks more like a lake now throughout most of it. So yeah, it's insane. But that moss stuff, very pretty. Like I think it's dead when it's that color, but very pretty. It's kind of silvery looking. But ramming, almost hitting the tree. The tree went into the boat. It was hilarious. But yeah, they were feeding them. The alligators look like marshmallows. So that was awesome. He had them on a stick, and he'd be like, ah, and the alligator come up and ah. But really pretty buildings there again on the way. Walking through. I think we were heading to the French Quarter at that point. And I loved the gorgeous colors. They were so pretty. It was everywhere. Everything was different colors everywhere. And smelly though. Like the sewer gas just the cab driver was telling us that a lot of people don't go out to the French Quarter anymore or to Bourbon Street because it's a lot more dangerous now. And yeah, he recommended another place. So I let my friends know and Tommy know, and we decided to go a couple other places. But then we went to the Mississippi River steamboat cruise, and that was amazing. Like, that boat was 3 stories tall, I think, and it was really cute, and I was still wearing my goofy freaking hat. We went about 5 miles out and then came back. So it was like a couple hours. Basically, a lot of people had dinner on the boat and dinner meetings and stuff. And that was nice. Tommy had a really hard time with the heights, but he did get used to it. It took him a bit, though. I think it took him probably about 40 minutes before he settled down. But yeah, it was gorgeous. This was on the way back while still on the steamboat. I went up to the very, very front to get the photos. They were annoyed at me. They're like, other people are trying to take photos too. I was like, and they can keep taking them when I'm out of the way. I was like, I waited until, probably about 10 minutes before I came over here. Most of them already have the photos they want. I'm going to get up here as far as I can toward the end of the front of the boat so that I get really good photos, and then I'll get out of the way again. He's just, my husband is so embarrassed. He's easily embarrassed, but I'm like, let me shine. But yeah, no, it was gorgeous coming back. And the one on the photo on the left, on the bottom, is a tall photo, but I cut off most of the water just to have the vibe look really good. So that was Mississippi River, and that was the bridge, also that we passed under. It looks so cute at night. Oh my gosh. So in New Orleans, this was a few blocks away from where we were staying. I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go out, but once I did finally wake up and started feeling kind of okay, I was very hungry, and we'd already eaten most of everything else, so I was like, Tommy, let's go and eat something. There's a barbecue shop that I saw, and I want to try it. And it did not look like much from the outside, but I had a feeling it was going to be a really good one, like old-timey, and I was right. And oh my gosh, they had amazing brisket. And their pickles actually made Tommy cry because it reminded him of his grandpa's pickles that his grandpa used to make. And that was a grandpa that he loved the most, who he looked up to. It was, Grandpa Doopy was his name. He passed away years ago, but it brought back memories for him, and he actually cried. He got up and he told him, your pickles taste just like my grandpa's pickles used to. They gave him a whole bunch of free ones. I was like, aw, they were so sweet. They were like, oh no, this is how we always make them. He's like, no man, you don't understand. We're not even from here. We're from Oklahoma, and like I have found nobody. It's been like 20 years since I've had pickles like these, and they taste just like he used to make them. And I was like, well, didn't you say he wasn't originally from Oklahoma? He's like, he may have been from here. He's like, I think he was from around here. I was like, well, it's probably just the whole local thing. Like, they were really good. But yeah, he got the mac and cheese, and I got to have his onion because he don't eat onion because he's allergic. And I had the barbecue beans and all those stuff. Oh, they did have cornbread at that place. The one with the etouffee, I prefer having cornbread with it because I love cornbread with it, especially spicy cornbread with it. These people had cornbread, so I finally got my cornbread fix. And then we went to the Ram House, and they have the crazy ice creams. One of them is burnt sourdough, and that's actually really good. Really, really good. And then strawberry black tea sherbet. I think that's the one I got. I loved the overhang tent. We've got a thing on Main Street in our hometown where there's a little bakery that's a pink one, and then a antique shop next door, and there used to be a building in between, but it burnt down or something happened to it years ago, so it's just like a clear area between them. And I was like, that would be perfect if they did something like that, because we have a festival every so often that sometimes they'll run through, and that would be perfect. Do something like that, leave that there. But anyway, so I was like, try new things, and there was the chessboard was really close to our apartment. They had like a little pool, and then the chessboard, and then like all of the buildings looked the same, but the courtyards in between reminded me of Harry Potter, and it was really amazing. Now, I went out with my friends, and like I'm not a party girl. I've never been much of, like, I don't drink, and I've never been in the party scene or even just the bar scene. And we went out there, and they played that music so loud. I had to put napkins in my ears because it hurt, and I couldn't hear anyone. And like the first place we went, it was like they sold different types of hot dogs and sausages and stuff, and we were going to eat there, but I had a breakdown in the middle of the freaking restaurant. I ran outside. My PTSD hit me hard. I was shaking, and I was like withdrawn, and I couldn't be around so many people. Like somebody brushed up against me, I would have just hit the floor. But went outside hyperventilating, sat on the curb, and I was like, I can't go very far because anything could happen to you in the middle of the night by yourself. So I didn't go far. I had to sit next to a car on the curb. And there were some people that were sitting there in a bunch of chairs that were just writing poems for like little bits of cash or whatever, just hanging out. And they asked me if I was alright and offered me a bottle of water. I was like, I got water with me, but I have PTSD and I have an anxiety disorder, and it was just a little bit too much in there. I gotta take a minute. So they were like, well, if anybody bothers you, you let us know, and we'll run them off. It's like, if you need anything, just let us know. I was like, okay. I'm okay. I gotta take a minute. My friends came back out there, and we ended up going to the other restaurant instead. That was across the street. That was way louder, but not so many people and closed as much. And that was a lot more fun. They were awesome. And then yeah, we had a lot of photos from that. Then on our way back toward Montgomery, which was one of our stops before we hit Austin again. We got to see the baby alligators at one of those places and feed the ducks and stuff. And Tommy had never fed ducks before. I was like, oh no, you can get them to eat out of your hand. You gotta just entice them, throw a few up there, and then slowly, and then they'll start eating out of your hand. It feels weird. He finally got him to do it. He's like, oh my god, it's like, what? He's like, I thought it hurt. Nope. But the place in Montgomery was amazing. Like, the landscape there, really gorgeous. We were going to do kayaks again, but we didn't get a chance because it was too late in the day. But we did get to swim in the pool that was below. And never stayed in a place that had a pool like that. And I've never actually stayed in a place that had like the apartment complex either. But the lady who owned the place, she had a chalkboard where it had like a little sailboat drawn on it in chalk, like a couple of different colors, and it said welcome. Well, I erased all that and I did like a really beautiful mural for her, and then returned the whole welcome thing on there. And she texted and was like, "Oh, I love what you did to the chalkboard." I mean, she'd given permission and left the chalk for basically kids to play with, and I did the mural for her. I don't know if I took a picture of that or not. I should have. But that was that at night. And then that whole waterway had blue lights all over it. It was really cool. And then we went and ate at the Mexican restaurant that was nearby. I don't remember the name of it. And then we went to a comedy club. And then this was on the way back to the car afterward. We stopped in there. Not my decision, because I don't drink, obviously, but my friend wanted to have a good time and dance and just, like, hang out, and me and Tommy are safe people, so she had someone to watch out for her while she was able to have a few drinks or whatever, and we got back next day, she's like, I was plastered. I was like, I know. It's alright. So, you know, yeah, it was fun, though. I loved the chandeliers. I gave her a few photos where she had that in the background of her, and yeah, she was like, I love it. But the trees, there again, wrapped in lights, so gorgeous. And then Tommy, he was suffering his own issues of overstimulation because of the noise. It gave him a massive headache, and he was hyperventilating in the corner, so I had to try to help him. And on the way back, he was just out of it. He was so tired and overwhelmed that, like, even on the way back to the car, he was still having a little bit of a suffering. So I'm looking like I'm having a good time, and he's looking like life sucks. But then Lake Travis, we did finally get to do kayaks again. And I forgot my hat, so I used my hair as a hat, so that was great. Hair hat day. Oh man, got some good photos of before, and then I think that place across, there's actually a restaurant, a huge place called The Oasis there, and the water level was way lower than it normally was, but it was really nice. My friend went swimming without the kayak, and I couldn't. I tried to, but with all the sticks and just my deep water phobia, I couldn't do it. Yep, that was pretty much it for the vacation. So that was an hour long. I'll probably have to speed it up a little or something. But yeah, that was our vacation recap, and that was me cutting down on the photos. But yeah, you guys, I'm telling you, a good vacation idea is go somewhere that has kayaks. If you've never been, it's not hard. It's not labor intensive. It's not an exercise type that will wear you out. It's really, really nice. They've got single person kayaks, and they've got kayaks that are doubled up, and Tommy weighs more than me, so between the two of us there was 450 pounds or more on the kayak, and we didn't have any issues. So even if you're a little overweight, it's fine. You won't have to worry about it. But anyway, so that was our recap, and I don't ever plan on doing that many places again for a single vacation, but that was kind of like a lifetime thing. Like, we never had our honeymoon, so I mean, it was a little bit of everything. But yeah, it was awesome, and overwhelmingly awesome. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have a good one. Bye.